Okay, so let's be real. It feels like you can't open a browser or go to a meetup without hearing about AI, right? It's this huge wave that's supposed to change, well, everything about how we build software. But now that some of the initial dust is settling, we need to ask some real questions. What does this actually mean for us, for our code, for our careers? Let's dig in and get past the hype.
First up, we've got to talk about this idea that's got everyone buzzing: vibe coding. It's this almost magical concept where you just describe what you want, you give the AI a high-level prompt, and poof, an app starts to appear. You're just vibing with it, in the creative flow, and you almost forget you're even dealing with code. It sounds amazing, like a developer's superpower. And look, that magic is incredible for spinning up ideas, for playing around, but we need to have a bit of a frank conversation here. We've got to look past the vibe for a second and talk about the massive difference between a fun little prototype and actual, professional, production-ready engineering.
And this slide really breaks it down perfectly. Over on the left, you've got vibe coding. It's all about speed, exploration, getting a prototype out the door fast. It's awesome for that initial spark. But on the right, AI-assisted engineering, well, that's a whole different ballgame. Now we're talking about correctness, about code you can actually maintain. This is where AI becomes a powerful partner, not a magic box, and where the human, that's you, is absolutely in the loop.
So here's the reality check. A simple prompt, no matter how good it is, can't possibly know what your team knows. It doesn't have that institutional knowledge. It doesn't know the history of that weird bug from 6 months ago or the reasoning behind a crucial pull request. All that context we build up over years, and AI has no clue. And that is why so many of these vibe-coded projects hit a wall and end up needing a total rewrite just to get to production.
So, this brings us to the really big question, the career question. If AI can spit out code this easily, what does that mean for the career ladder? How does it change what it means to be a junior engineer versus a senior engineer? Are the goalposts shifting on us?
This quote just nails it. It gets to the heart of what a lot of people are calling the last 30% problem. See, AI can get you, say, 70% of the way there at lightning speed. But when that code is subtly wrong, or when it gets stuck, a less experienced engineer might not know what to do except, well, prompt it again. They're just kind of stuck in a loop because they don't have that deeper context to debug the real issue.
And this is exactly why senior skills are about to become even more valuable. Think about it. AI raises the floor, right? It makes junior folks way more productive. But it also raises the ceiling. The ability to write a killer spec, to break down a giant, messy problem, to see the whole system architecture in your head, and to use your critical thinking when the AI inevitably messes up, these aren't just skills anymore. In the age of AI, these are superpowers. They're what give you leverage.
And that brings us to something really important, because the most valuable skills aren't always the purely technical ones. As AI starts to handle more and more of the boilerplate code, it's the uniquely human skills, the things that make great teamwork possible, that are becoming the real game changers for your career.
A perfect example of this is a little thing called psychological safety. You've probably heard of it. It famously came out of Google's Project Aristotle. After studying hundreds of their teams, they found that the #1 predictor of a successful team wasn't talent, it was this: creating an environment where people feel safe enough to speak up, to ask questions, and yes, even to fail without fear. It's the foundation of everything. And you see this exact same idea pop up in another Google study, Project Oxygen, where they studied what makes a great manager. And look at the top traits. It's not about being the best coder on the team. It's about being a good coach. It's about empowering people, not micromanaging them. It's about creating that same safe, inclusive environment. These are deeply human skills, and an AI just can't do them.
Now, I know it's easy to look at all this AI stuff and think, okay, everything I knew is now useless. But what's really fascinating is that the core principles of great engineering, they're pretty much timeless. And to prove it, let's jump in a time machine and look at a conversation from before this whole AI boom really took off.
So let's go back to 2018. The big talk was all about web performance, fundamentals, building things that were fast and efficient. Now fast forward to today, and yeah, AI is totally transforming our workflows, but those core principles of quality and efficiency, they haven't gone anywhere. If anything, they're more important than ever.
And here is a classic horror story from that era, courtesy of Adi Osmani. He was looking at a site where, because different teams weren't talking to each other, a single user would end up loading 6 different versions of React and Redux just to buy something. It was an absolute performance nightmare, and it wasn't a technology problem, it was a human problem, a fundamentals problem.
And just look at this checklist from back then. Send less JavaScript, lazy load, compress, cache. Does any of this sound outdated? Absolutely not.
Every single one of these points is just as vital today, because if you ask an AI to build you something without good direction, it will happily generate bloated, inefficient code. The tools change, the fundamentals don't.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. What does this actually mean for you, for your career? How do you build a toolkit that's going to help you thrive in this new world? Let's break it down into a few clear strategies.
All right, here we go. Number 1, master the fundamentals. Seriously, performance, architecture, security, these things are timeless and they're your bedrock. 2, you have to be the human in the loop. Your judgment, your experience, your critical thinking, that's what makes the AI useful. 3, start treating those soft skills as core skills. Communication, collaboration, empathy, these are what build amazing products. And finally, number 4, adopt a project manager mindset. Learn how to break down huge, messy problems into small, clear, verifiable steps, because that's exactly how you'll guide an AI to build something great instead of just something.
So if you only take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. AI is not here to replace you or replace good engineering. It's a force multiplier. It's a tool that takes your expertise, your understanding of core principles, and amplifies it. It makes you more effective, not obsolete.
And we'll end on this final thought. AI is raising the floor. It's making it easier than ever for more people to generate code. But at the same time, it's raising the ceiling. It's creating this incredible new opportunity for people with deep expertise and strong human skills to have a massive impact. So the real question you have to ask yourself is, where are you going to choose to stand?